All right, fellas, let's go ahead and get it rocking for today. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast. Give me 1 second. Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 26. Where does your sense of self worth come from? So, that is the theme for today's podcast. But I would like to preface today's podcast um, with just a moment of silence. I would like to preface with a moment of silence for the lives lost at Uvalde, Texas. So, go ahead and give you some moment of silence. So 19 children and two teachers from Robb Elementary had their lives taken by an 18-year-old gunman, and this is something that shouldn't be ruled as normal, as this is a tragedy that happens in America a lot more often than it should. And I just wanted to give some recognition to that, just to spread awareness. I see other people doing it, which I'm very very happy for, but I definitely wanted to give my 2 cents on that. So obviously, there's nothing that we can do that's going to fix all the issues that revolve around this um, glaring problem. But um, like I said, I don't have all the answers. But what I will say is something needs to be changed. You cannot just go about this to your day-to-day life and ignore that this exists and that this has been happening. And you see the increase. Um, you see the increased amount of school shootings and just shootings in general ever since the Columbine. So, like I said, I just wanted to bring awareness to that, and then we'll go ahead and get the podcast started. So, for today's topic, where does your sense of self worth come from? I feel like this is a question that everyone should ask themselves, and also a few things I want to mention as well. So I have a logo on the way. Another thing is this: I've also obviously have flipped the camera, so that's going to be a little bit different. I hope it doesn't look too bad. But I got Inspire right there, Evolve to Inspire. Shout out to the podcast, or shout out to the YouTube channel that I just uploaded for my first video too. So if you definitely want to tap in with that, it should be in the link in the description. I will go ahead and put it in there after the podcast is over. If you do want to go ahead and watch that as well. But yeah, that's how I wanted to start it. Definitely ask yourself this question: where does your sense of self worth come from? And I feel like this answer is pretty much different for every single person. I'm gonna give you my personal answers that I thought about very thoroughly. But what I will say is this: it should not just come from the way you look. And this goes for men and women. This should not be something that is just superficial. Uh, everybody is more than just looks at the end of the day. So your entire or majority of your sense of self-worth shouldn't come from just the way you look, because that is a very very small percentage of what is the makeup of a person. So I'm going to go ahead and start it with that, and then I'll go ahead and tell you what I deem to be, where does my self-worth come from. So give me 1 second. Also, I have some new sounds on the podcast, but I'm not going to play them. I haven't fully edited them yet, but I do have roughly, by the next podcast, I'll have about like 10 to 15 new sound effects. So stay tuned for that. And the next podcast, like I said, will be Friday. Um, that right there, like I said, that'll be a good one. I'm going to have a few people on the next few podcasts as well, which is something to look forward to for sure. All right. So where does my sense of self worth come from? Right. So for me personally, it comes from building something. I feel like building this as well as building Evolve to Inspire. Those are a percentage. I wouldn't say a small percentage. Those are a percentage that go into the larger majority of what is my sense of self worth. But building something, working on my passions, regardless of what that is, whether it's basketball, whether it's listening to music, whether it's, like I said, doing a podcast, whether it's filming something that's going to help benefit people. That is where my sense of self worth comes from. Also, pursuing things I enjoy. Like I said, these are all things that I enjoy as well. So if you notice a trend, it is things that I am passionate about. That's where I get my sense of self worth from, because these are not only things that I can do, but these are pretty much just things I can do, I guess. Another one is building meaningful relationships as well. I would say relationships are a large majority of where I get my sense of self worth from, just because you are the people that you're around at the end of the day, whether you would like to admit it or not. They are part of you. So for me, I like to build meaningful relationships within my life. So that is also where I get some of my sense of self worth from. Also, I would say competition and winning. Um, and not because my name is Champ, but because I genuinely enjoy competition, and of course I enjoy winning. Obviously, my name is Champ, so there's that, right? But yeah, I definitely like the competition aspect. And like I said, if my name was Champ and I didn't like competition, something would be wrong. But that is the case. Also, another thing that I get my or another place where I get my sense of self worth from is pursuing freedoms in the life that I want to live. Which is, if you know me personally, you know that's pretty much where I'm headed. That's what I'm pursuing on the daily is a life filled with freedom and of meaning. So those skills kind of go hand in hand, and then also learning and becoming smarter. That's another place where I get my sense of self worth from. I put a very big emphasis on learning. I honestly had to rekindle my love for learning because the school system absolutely destroyed it. But I've got it back, and I'm thankful that I had it back. And I've had it back for about ever since my self development journey started, which was probably about 4 years ago. So yeah, and then also I would say building up the ones that I care about as well, and just being the support system that they can rely on. Also, is where I get some of my sense of self worth from because those are the people that are behind me, and I definitely got to be behind those people because they definitely need me just as much as I need them. So there's that as well. And I would say another place where I get my sense of self worth from is taking care of my health. So whether this is eating better, or whether this is like selectively discarding some foods that are not going to be in my best interests, and also taking care of my body in the gym and putting in the work that way. That is also where I get my sense of self worth from. And it's not, and like I prefaced in the beginning, it's not the way I look; it's the work that I put in to get to where I want to look. If that makes any sense. Another place where I get my sense of self worth from is recognition from others for my hard work. I feel like everybody that puts in work wants to be recognized to some extent, and I would say some of my sense of self worth comes from having that recognized by people. That's through my own analysis of myself, and for the most part, that is what is my sense of self worth. Um, Now, I want to know. I want to get you guys engaged. I have 4 viewers in here. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. I want to get you guys engaged. Where do you get your sense of self worth from? Because everybody's answer is going to be different. Like I said, go ahead and let me know. But I appreciate all you guys for stopping by. Make sure you leave a like, and yeah, but I appreciate it. It's crazy how school can demolish your desire to learn, especially since they really teach us anything. Okay, they don't really teach us anything. Okay, for sure. I can understand that. And the only reason I would say that is because it is so forced. The way that they do it is just it's too forced. Kids lose the passion for learning. If you see the younger kids, they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited to go to school." And then as you see them in their high school years, they're like, "God damn it, I'm going to school." Like I'm pissed off about it. So yeah, it's sad that a place where you should go to learn and learn to love to learn. If that makes any sense. Um, Obviously it gets ripped away from us sadly, but it is what it is. I guess that is society. I guess, but the people that do the most in this life, in my opinion, through my observations, they rekindle their love for learning, and they're extra conscious of that because it is part of what makes this life so great is just learning and being not only conscious of what you're learning, but just conscious of that your fact that you are learning because life is learning in general. So yeah. All right. So yeah, I want you guys to answer if you're in the comments right now. I want you to answer that question because, like I said, this is the topic for today. Where do you get your sense of self worth from? Also, I just want to give a shout out real quick to Evolve to Inspire, my second YouTube channel, which is still the main project. Um, I produced my first video yesterday, and I got a lot of good feedback from that. it is a first video, so it's not going to be the best high quality video that is going to be my 100th video. But you got to start somewhere. So if you do support me at all, I will have links to that also in the bio. I'm going to add that at the end of the podcast. Or if you want it earlier, just go ahead and send me a text, and I can make sure I send that over to you. But that right there is the most proud piece of work that I've put on this platform of YouTube by far. I'm 26 podcasts deep, and that one video means the world to me, because that is my ultimate purpose, along with this podcast as well. So yeah, if you support me, and you want to find another way to support me, that would be the way. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah. As soon as you guys are done thinking, go ahead and leave a comment regarding where you get your sense of self worth from, because, like I said, everybody's answer is different, and it's interesting to see the differences within um, people's answers, I would say. Yeah, for the most part, like I said, this should be deeper than looks. But if it honestly comes from your looks, go ahead and say that. I feel like, to an extent, I would say at least a small percentage that would go for everybody, right? Everybody wants to look their best, or look good, or be perceived of as looking good to an extent. But there's also some people in this world that, if they didn't have their looks, they would literally not even exist. Um, and that's a damn travesty right there, in my opinion, because, like I said, we are much more than looks nowadays. That's how it's always been. We're much more than looks, and the people that only only value their looks, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for you, personally, in my opinion. It's definitely very superficial, in my opinion. But like I said, there's some superficial aspects to human nature in general. That just happens to be one of them. But like I said, go ahead and give me your answer. I see a few people in here, so make sure you leave a comment. Hopefully, Anthony's not carrying the chat by himself, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So yeah, just to reiterate, I'll give you my answers, and maybe it'll help you come up with your own answers. Like I said, some of this is following my passions, as well as being on the constant pursuit of building something. So, like I said, for me, building this podcast, building my Evolve to Inspire YouTube channel, those are going to be some of where I get my sense of self worth from, because these are going to be things that I'm working on, I'm spending a lot of my time on, and spending a lot of my energy on. So, those definitely um, are definitely very important. I get my sense of self worth from my success, leveling up mentally, physically, emotionally, bragging rights, winning, and genuinely helping people, whether it's through my actions or something. Appreciate the answer, Anthony. Yeah, definitely pretty good. Might say, or some advice I give to someone. Awesome. That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. Bragging rights, of course, if you know Anthony. Hey, that boy keep the receipts. That boy keep the receipts is all I'm about to say. But yeah, those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. Yeah, leveling up in every aspect of life. Definitely where I get my self worth from as well. I didn't mention that, but essentially that kind of pretty much covers majority of what he had mentioned. But yeah, those are pretty good. Genuinely helping people, of course. Yep, that's pretty good. I might say so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the advice that you give to somebody as well, um, and definitely the quality of the advice that you do give could definitely be understandable, and or rather why it gives you your sense of self worth. But yeah, that's pretty good right there. That's pretty good. Also, if you want me to go ahead and flip the camera as well, let's just say you don't like the way it looks right here. This is the way it would really look in real life. If you were here, this is the way it would look. If you don't like the way it looks, I'll go ahead and change it as well. For me, I'm still trying to get used to it personally, but it's because I filmed 25 episodes by having the camera flip the other way. But it just looks. The only reason I did it is because that's what I would see in the mirror, and that's something that I'm used to. Best believe all the receipts I got them on me. Anthony, of course we know we know you got these receipts on you, my dog. We already know that, man. Come on now. Yeah, I don't have any sound effects for that, but let me see if I can find one for you, Anthony. Yeah, I really ain't got shit for you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't really doubt you, or I can't really doubt you or anything right there. Yeah, I really, I really have nothing to say for that. That's true. That's just true. Yeah, and like I said, if you're in here right now, make sure you leave a comment where you get your sense of self worth from, because like I said, that is the topic for today. And I'll also get into my second topic that I had. Just like I said, I want to get more people's inputs and see the commonality, see the differences within where people get their senses of worth from. But this right, go ahead. I'm gonna go play this. How about now? Cause I'm up right now. We up right now. Come on now. Come on now. We up now. But yeah. Shout out to Drake right here. We're in the OVO. We're in the OVO today. Come on now, fellas. Shout out to the boy. Shout out to the boy. Had to eventually pull it out. I don't wear this shirt often. I probably only wear the shirt like maybe like probably about like 8 times. But it's definitely a clean shirt. Shout out to my nana that actually got it for me. Came in clutch with this shirt. Man, to this day, man, came in clutch. That's for sure. All right, give me 1 second. I need to get some more water. I need to get some more water for sure. But yeah, all right. Added the we up right now. That's yeah, I know. Yeah, I added that one, and then I also had the other one. Watch.
Nah, I'm up now.
I had both of them. I had both of them because I had to. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think. So what I will say is, with this, I feel like it definitely says a lot about you. This one question, which, like I had mentioned on the previous podcast, you definitely got to ask the right questions, and I feel like this is a part of one of the questions you need to ask yourself in order to really get to know yourself. So, where do you get the sense of worth from? Because, like I said, everybody's answer is different, and just by knowing that one answer can really tell you an entire story about that person. You could make a lot of assumptions based off of that person just by answering that one question. And of course, yeah, it had to come on out. But yeah, that is definitely something that after making that podcast that I made last week, I did definitely got me thinking because, like I said, a lot of people you'll see that a lot of people either don't know the answer to this or it take them a long time to think, or like I said, their answers are superficial, which my opinion on that. But it's definitely interesting to see how everybody's just different, I would say. But yeah, if you're in here right now, appreciate you for stopping by. But make sure you leave a comment regarding where do you get your sense of self worth from, because like I said, that is a topic for today. So yeah, go ahead and make sure you leave a comment on that. All right. So Anthony's answer: get your self worth from building his success, leveling up in every aspect in life, winning, getting bragging rights, and helping people through his actions and the advice that he gives out, which is, I would say, that's a very, very good answer. It's a very detailed answer. And hopefully we get some more answers that are similar to that, but we will see. We will see. Maybe we won't get any answers at all. Come on now. Y'all, if you in here right now and you not answering that, you're doing a disservice to this podcast, and that's a damn shame. Come on now. But yeah, just to reiterate on something that I mentioned earlier, with the tragedy that happened yesterday. Um, like I said, I'm just trying to bring awareness to the platform that I have. Like I said, I don't have all the answers for it, but like I said, things need to change, and it first starts with bringing awareness to platforms, and eventually somebody that is hopefully in a position of power can do something about it. But if they don't, then we will continue to see tragic things like this happen all too often, sadly, very, very often, more often than it should. Another one has to be achieving long term goals, which technically is a part of success, but still checking off long term goals that I've reached is an amazing feeling. And had to put it on the list for sure. It definitely brings you that sense of fulfillment, that's for sure. Which, like I said, if anybody's watching this and they don't have their goals written down, you definitely need to have your goals written down so you have something to aim. You could obviously have your goals in your head, but there's just a different satisfaction that comes from seeing your goals and having it all right there instead of just random thoughts that come in and out of your head. Bring them into the physical world, and like I said, check them off when you do accomplish them, because that right there is something worth celebrating, and also making sure you go ahead and celebrate properly as well. Give me 1 second. Ain't no way. All right. So yeah, like I said, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment regarding the question for today. Just to reiterate, my sense of self worth comes from things that I'm building, things that I'm putting my time and energy on, which uh, are things that I'm passionate about. Building relationships with people that I love, and also working on my physique and taking care of my body the way that it should be taken care of, which is being diet conscious and, like I said, working out. All right. Like I said, a few different changes to the podcast. I'm gonna have more sound effects coming in. I flipped the camera. If you like the way it looks, or if you want me to switch it back, make sure you let me know. But I've just been so used to the other way. Like I mentioned, 25 podcasts filmed already the other way. But I just decided to flip it today because technically, you could see the Inspire right there. You can see that poster. Shout out to Jordy, even though she's probably not watching. Appreciate you for making that, as well as Evolve to Inspire, my YouTube channel, which is right there. I've always had it up, but you couldn't always see it the proper way that you should have seen it. But yeah. All right. So yeah, whenever you're all ready, go ahead and answer that question because it is vital to the podcast quality. That's for sure. For this podcast, I'm going to go live for about an hour. So we have about 25 more minutes. So, like I said, I definitely want to have quality conversations. So, if you're in here, I would appreciate if you do answer that question, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. Also, got the clips coming down very, very soon. I'm gonna try to get it going by the end of this month. Um, I'm still trying to figure out how exactly I want to get it done. I'm writing down the timestamps for the clips that I want to have made. So if you do support the podcast and you had a specific um, timestamp or part in a podcast where you feel like I should put that on social media platform in the form of short form content, make sure you let me know because that can definitely be very helpful. I am rewatching all the podcasts on my free time to go ahead and make the note of valuable content that could be uh, could have some entertainment value outside of the actual podcast. Absolutely have to have goals. I can't trust the importance of that. Daily goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals can take you so it's crazy. So okay, yeah, for sure. Like I said, even having the daily goals, those daily goals are important. Just daily objectives that you need to have checked off. At the very least, you're going to be conscious, and you're probably going to achieve more of those daily objectives just by having it written down and something you can rely back onto. Because a lot of the time, we're as us humans are forgetful at times. So definitely having that in front of you or having that on your phone makes it a little bit easier for you to rely back onto. So yeah, there's that. Also, if you're watching this podcast through the link that I sent, and I would recommend you go on the YouTube app, open it up through there, so you can go ahead and leave a comment as well. But like I said, appreciate y'all for stopping by. All right. And also, the answer to this question, I would say there's really there isn't any wrong answers. There are answers that are better than others, in my opinion, but I don't think there's necessarily any wrong answers. Um, but like I said, it'll tell you a lot. It'll tell you a lot about the person. I would say. I'm so hyped for the clips. I can't wait to see and remember the most inspiring and funniest moments of the podcast. Yes, I definitely want to have a few sections specifically made for the clips channel. I'll probably have controversy or controversial topics. That'll probably be one of them. I'll have entertainment, which will just be just anything funny, and then I'll probably have like self development based, so things that are like more advice, which I want to make more entertaining content as well. So I have not really super controversial things, but I have things that are going to be a little more entertaining that are not super self development based. I'm gonna stick most of that into the Evolve to Inspire YouTube channel. So if you enjoy that type of content, um, yeah, everybody's different, by the way. But yeah, if you're more interested in the content that you can actually really benefit from, outside of entertainment value, the Evolve to Inspire YouTube channel will be where I post most of that content. I should have. I'm gonna film a few videos, or I'm gonna edit a few videos tomorrow. I hopefully have at least one of those videos up by by this weekend. So stay tuned in for that as well. All right. Yeah, and then I want to do also entertainment and sports content as well, because I definitely will have an audience for that as well, because that is one of the main topics about this. And then also for music, whenever we talk about music and whenever some new music drops, I will be also making clips for that as well. So stay tuned in for that. All right. So just to reiterate, where do I get my my personal sense of self worth from? Like I said, it comes from things that I build, things that I'm passionate about, doing some things that I enjoy doing, as well as working on the body that I desire to have, as well as attending to the meaningful relationships within my life, and supporting in any way that I can. If they do ask, I will be there for support, just as they are here for my own support. Thankfully, like I mentioned in the Evolve to Inspire video, I have a strong foundation of people that support me. So like for their support, I will definitely go ahead and support them as well. That definitely brings me some fulfillment, and it's also where I get some of my sense of self worth from as well. Also, also just recognition in general, which, like I said, I feel like that is a common thing for a lot of people as well. Just to have the recognition for the work that you put in, definitely can give you some self worth. And of course, I can definitely see the perspective where no one cares, or like they got some people that just don't care to get recognized. They're just sticking to the grind, which I understand and respect that. But at the end of the day, it's definitely not gonna hurt. No, it's not gonna hurt nobody to be like, man, you did a good job, and like, yeah, to be recognized. But like I said, that's just my own opinion. I want to get your guys' opinions on where you get your sense of self worth from. So if you're in here right now, make sure you leave a comment for you personally. Yeah, definitely Anthony had a lot of good points to his, but like I said, I'm trying to get more people involved with where they get their sense of self worth from as well. So I know this is a question that could be hard for a lot of people to answer, but I'll make sure you go ahead and leave a comment as well. And also, I should be having some new people on the podcast very, very soon. I have the next few podcasts booked for certain people. Shout out to Anthony. Anthony AJ will be on the podcast. I'll bring back my cousin Damien and Noe. They'll be on the podcast very, very soon. And then I also have my boy Abdallah, who will have his first appearance on the podcast coming up very, very soon, which I'm very much looking forward to. Um, Shout out to Abdallah's ankle. Rest in peace to that boy right there, because we played basketball the other day, man. I wish you the best in recovery. I wish you the best in recovery. And no, he didn't get his ankle snatched. Just for you guys, just let you guys know, he didn't get his ankle snatched. Man, I remember. I remember when I hurt my ankle and it was in a boot. Man, they were talking about that at work for weeks, months after. I was already healed. They were still talking about it, man. I was like, man, ain't no way, ain't no way. Shout out to the people. Shout out to people that I used to work with too, that were nothing but fun jokes and great people to be around. But yeah, I had my ankle snatched, even though I didn't even have it snatched. I snatched my own ankle, but the ongoing joke was that I got it snatched. But it is what it is, fellas. It happens to the best of us, but we go ahead and we heal and we move on. But yeah, like I said, if you're in here, my family has hyped me up throughout the early years of my life, and my sense of worth grew, helping others and being a leader, not a follower. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the support system, and yeah, the support system could be very much influential when it comes to your sense of self worth. Like I said, being family oriented is definitely key. to success, in my opinion. And I think public recognition is nice. Recognition definitely means the most when it comes from those. I mean, most of you. Exactly. I 100% agree with that, Anthony. And going back to Lisa's comments, about being a leader, not a follower. I don't know exactly how that applies to sense of self worth, but I guess if your sense of self worth comes from uh, not being a follower, then I can understand that for sure. I definitely feel that as well. But yeah, I could probably make another podcast about that. Which, well, I probably won't even make a podcast about that. I'll probably make a video on my Evolve to Inspire YouTube channel about that, about being a leader, not a follower. Which I'll definitely add that to my topics because that is definitely something that's key. And if you're gonna follow anybody, make sure they're worthy of following. That's something I will say as well. There's people that are definitely worth being followed, and there's also majority people that are not worth being followed. That's for damn sure. Which in those cases, like you said, you got to be your leader, follow the ways that you feel fit, and you go ahead and go from there. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate all you guys for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comments regarding things that we had mentioned, as well as to answer the question of today. And if you're watching this podcast, make sure you also leave a comment regarding the question of the day. If you want to go ahead and give your 2 cents, like I said, make sure you leave it in the comments as well as make sure you like the video. Oh. And then also, I probably will be doing my Saturday podcast this upcoming Saturday. So stay tuned in for that as well. Like I had mentioned in the previous podcast, that's just going to be where we just chill, chat about pretty much any topic, as well as listen to music. So it is definitely a vibe. So if you want to go ahead and stay tuned in for that, like I said, it'll be on Saturday. And then for the time for that, that's a little bit more fluid. I would say there's not really a set time for that. It could be later in the day and it could be earlier in the day, um, just depending on my schedule for that day. So like I said, if you're interested in just chilling and just chatting on something and listening to music, like I said, that'll be a good podcast for you as well. Or not really podcast. It'll just be more of a live stream, just like this, I guess. But those won't be saved. Whatever said on there is said on there, and it'll never be saved. So there's that as well. Last one, I had a few people stop by, so that was pretty good. And yeah, it's definitely a vibe for sure. Listen to some of my favorite music that I've been listening to recently. So music being one of my passions, and another place where I get my sense of self worth from because honestly, I attach music to my identity, in my opinion. So without that, life would not be the same, and not exactly my sense of self worth, but on my identity. Honestly, it's definitely a part of my identity because if you know me, I'm very passionate about music. If you do have the conversation with me, I'm always listening to music, and yeah, it's definitely one of my passions of mine. So another one I think I just realized is being independent. Accomplishing something without the help of others, knowing I did it on my own, is an amazing feeling. You know what, Anthony? You know what? I really actually respect that. I respect that, and I would say that is true for me as well to an extent. That's if that is your answer, that is your answer. I don't know if I exactly. Of course, I'm similar in that way, but yeah, like I said, if that works for you, that works for you. Yeah, it's definitely a good answer though. Definitely a good answer to the question though. Yeah, definitely being able to be independent in the ways that you should be independent. Definitely very, very key. Definitely very, very key. And another thing is relying on people as well. That's definitely if you have people worth relying on, that's something else. But a lot of people are not worth relying on. That's what I will say. So to an extent, you can do it, but for the most part, you want to be as independent as you can be. But that's just my personal opinion on that. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like I said, make sure you leave a comment if you want to go ahead and answer that question. Like I said, that is a definitely key question and will add to the quality. And I probably will be having another podcast in the future once I have more people viewing this about this certain topic as well. So stay tuned in for that. I don't know when it'll be, but there's a lot of these topics that I feel like can stir up a really good conversation with an abundance of people watching. So I'll definitely be redoing some of these podcasts in the near future. But yeah. Once I go viral a few times on TikTok, then I'll go. I definitely have this conversation once more, because and I probably will also be posting a video with a lot more content rather than just a podcast talking about it. Like I said, I wanted to get you guys' inputs, but I also wanted to, you know, speak on mine. Like I said, this is a Life of Champ podcast, so of course I'm going to give my 2 cents on what I have for my sense of self worth. Um, but yeah, this is definitely one of those important questions that I had mentioned in the previous podcast that needs to be answered and needs to be thoroughly analyzed. And like I said, it'll say a lot more about you. Just getting this, even just asking this person or asking this question to people that you either know or don't know, I feel like it'll get them thinking, and there'll be a good conversation there. So um, that's definitely pretty good. That's definitely one of those interpersonal questions that, like I said, it can stir up an entire conversation, especially with a group of people as well. It'll definitely get them thinking and thinking in the right way, in my own opinion. Yeah, these are questions, like I said, majority of people need, or not even majority of people, everybody needs to have this answered. Everybody needs to have this answered, or at least think about this at the very least, because it honestly can steer you in the right direction, in my opinion. It'll steer you in the direction that is thinking of yourself. Like I said, it's one of those introspective questions, but at the same time, it can be answered um, with people and support. So just like mine was. So yeah. All right. So like I said, a few people on the way for the new podcasts coming up. I'm looking forward to that. And if there's any specific topics that you want us to talk about, or um, any specific moments in time where you enjoyed a certain part of the podcast that you also want me to make a clip for, make sure you let me know, because like I said, I am rewatching all podcasts right now to go ahead and make sure I have some of the best clips, so I can go ahead and post them and get the content out there. It could just be because I'm very stubborn at asking. Yeah, for sure, Anthony. And I definitely get that. I definitely get that point of view, though, for sure. Yeah, you've mentioned it. You've mentioned it throughout the years. Like I said, you're independent in that way. Um, which, like I said, I definitely understand and respect. Because, like I said, if that's you, so that's you. Simple as that. Um, and like I said, at the end of the day, there's only a few people worth relying on in this world, and like I said, majority of people aren't worth relying on. So, yeah, it's pretty good as well. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch this podcast again, just so I can see if I enjoy looking at this camera angle or not, or if I want to go ahead and switch it back. Like I said, let me know, Anthony. Let me know if you like this way that it is right now, or if you think I should switch it up or whatever. I should just put it more in the middle, honestly. But yeah, that entire thing is blocked. That entire thing is blocked right there. So I'm like, man. Realistically, it was already blocked, but at least it says the right thing now. So like, come on now. I really don't know how to put this mic in a different position where it wouldn't be in the way, but maybe I can figure it out one of these days. Yeah, just to reiterate one last time for where I get my sense of self worth from, just to wrap it up because I'm going to be ending it off here in a few minutes. I get my sense of self worth from building something that I'm passionate on, or passionate about rather, and constantly pursuing things that I am passionate about. So that's like this podcast, my Evolve to Inspire YouTube channel, as well as even things like playing basketball and just getting better in basketball. Um, that is definitely something that I've always been working on, and like I said, it is a passion of mine. So it'll be something that I always continue to do, hopefully for the rest of my life. Um, if I'm gifted that health that I also value, which is a part of my sense of self worth. So hopefully I take care of myself in my later years in life, and hopefully it'll be something I'll be able to do because I of course I will always enjoy doing that as well. Um, Another thing is being building meaningful relationships. That's also where I get some of my sense of self worth from, as well as competition and winning, of course. Like I said, this is Life of Champ podcast. My name is Champ, so Of course, competition and winning is definitely going to play a factor within where I get my sense of self-worth from, just because from day one I've always been competitive and always wanted to win. So that definitely makes sense. Of course, like I said, it's definitely a very small percentage of where I get my sense of self-worth from, but yeah. And then to finish off the answer, pursuing freedoms in the life that I want to live. I like the camera view. It does a better job of bringing out the inspired poster, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're right, and also these are also faced the right way. The album covers are faced the right way. I'm pretty sure, right? Hold up, man. Yeah, they're faced the right way. Of course. Why would they not be? But yeah, just to finish off the question. I also get some of my sense of self worth from pursuing freedoms in the life that I want to live, as well as learning and just becoming a smarter individual. Learning is very pivotal in life, and the more you can do it consciously, the more you're going to be better off. Also, supporting and building up the ones that I care about most, and obviously having my work recognized by the ones that I care about most as well. That's definitely where I derive um, some of my self worth from. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' inputs and appreciate everybody that was watching, even the person that didn't even comment. Like I said, I hope you can go ahead and make sure you leave a comments afterwards and go ahead and answer that um, based off of what you would like. But yeah. Like I said, also, if you guys have any specific topics you want to talk about or sound effects that you want me to add, make sure you leave it in the comments because I'm open to taking suggestions for things like that. Because if you're a person watching this podcast, I definitely want you to have some say so in some of the things that I do. So if you are interested in doing that, go ahead and let me know as well. By the next podcast, I should have about hopefully 15 sound effects added to the podcast that when I have people on will bring more entertainment value, but I will definitely be adding those very, very soon. Also, like I said, clips on the way. I'm just rewatching podcasts, making the timestamps, and then I will have somebody edit those as well as myself. I'll be editing those once I know how to do that. So that is something that'll be on the way. That is something that's definitely interesting because it has to be vertical. So do I know how to do that yet? No, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually. And also, I should have a new logo on the way. I hopefully it will have it by. I really don't know. Hopefully by next week's podcast, I should have it. Also, and I'll be having some shirts as well on the way. Once that is done, like I said, that'll be open to take orders if you would like. But just go ahead and let me know, and then I'll go ahead and mark you down for a specific size and type of colorway that you would like as well. But other than that, I appreciate everyone for commenting. Of course, Anthony carrying the chat as usual, but I appreciate the others that did comment as well. Like just to say it one more time, if you're rewatching this, make sure you leave a comment regarding the answer to the question. It's definitely great to see people engage and to see the differences within people's answers. So I'm definitely interested to see the answer that you guys come up with. Like I had mentioned, this says a lot about the person that is answering the question. So you can even take this and apply this to your real life. Ask people around you, ask people that you care about, where they get their sense of self worth from. And like I said, it'll tell you an entire story. It'll tell you, maybe even show you a different perspective that you've never seen about the person in front of you. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this off here in a minute. So, like I said, appreciate everybody for stopping by. Um, yeah, yeah, appreciate it. And I'll also leave you with one piece of advice as well. One piece of advice to leave you guys off on. Give me 1 second. The piece of advice that I'll leave you off on is better said not by me, but by somebody that I'm inspired by. So let me go ahead and find it real quick. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Facts. Good vibes and no vibes. That's the end. That's going to be the message that I want to portray at the end. Good vibes, no vibes. We're all about matching energy out here. So if somebody right now in life you're trying to get the attention of somebody and they're not reciprocating the energy that you would like, make sure you go ahead and cut them off because it's around here. It's good vibes or no vibes. Always the vibe. Good vibes, no vibes. Always my vibe. That's for damn sure. So appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the content for today. And until next time, I'll be having the next podcast that is going to be on Friday. I'm not too sure about the topic, but you'll see the topic very, very soon. So I appreciate you guys for stopping by. And make sure you ask people around you about this question. Have a good